Wayne County Sheriff and Detroit mayoral candidate Benny Napoleon's deputies kicked in the door at the home of an ex-employee after she says she'd been fired for blowing the whistle on his top brass.
Now, 7 Action News investigator Heather Catalos uncovered some of Napoleon's text messages that showed the raid may have been improper. And Heather, tell us about these text messages you found.
Well, the text messages recently came to light in a lawsuit, and they have legal experts saying Sheriff Benny Napoleon may have abused his power. So we wanted to know, why would the leader of a cash-strapped department send several deputies to search a former employee's home? And did the very people who enforce the law break it?
Did you abuse your power here?
Absolutely not.
Sheriff Benny Napoleon says he did nothing wrong when his department raided this woman's home, but Renee Newell completely disagrees.
It was 7 or 8 officers. They were bamming and kicking on the door.
That was Newell last summer explaining how Wayne County Sheriff's deputies burst into her home, terrifying her daughter, seizing her computers.
They rushed in here, rushed her into here and started telling her to get down, lay down, and you're going to jail.
The raid was approved by a magistrate, but the sheriff's own text messages raised questions about whether the request to approve the raid left out important facts. The 7 Action News investigators have Napoleon's text messages, which we'll show you in a moment. But first, let's take a look back at how the sheriff's top commanders justified the search of Newell's home last summer. At the time of the raid last July, sheriff's officials told the 7 Action News investigators they believed Newell authored an attachment on this email. The email falsely accuses Napoleon's right-hand man, Executive Chief Eric Smith, of being a felon.
Did you send that email?
No, I did not.
What were they really looking for?
I believe that they were looking for any evidence that I might have to support my whistleblower case.
At the time of the search, Newell's attorney was negotiating a settlement of her whistleblower claim. The sides never settled, and Newell later sued the county, claiming she was fired from her job as director of jail compliance last year after she blew the whistle on alleged wrongdoing among some of Sheriff Napoleon's top executives. Even though sheriff's officials said under oath in this search warrant that Newell sent the malicious email, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department's own internet crime sergeant has now testified, quote, "I don't know who authored it." The sergeant also testified that one of the key statements in the search warrant that implicates Newell was inaccurate. So if the sheriff's own internet crimes expert doesn't know who sent that email, why was the search of Renee Newell's home allowed?
The sheriff authorized it.
That's Under Sheriff Dan Fanas telling me last year Benny Napoleon gave his investigators the green light to go after Newell. They seized her personal computers, flash drives, and cell phones, a long list of items spelled out in this 7-page search warrant. But get this, days before those deputies kicked in her door and hauled away Newell's computers, the sheriff himself knew someone else had sent that email. How do we know that? He says so in his own text messages, and we've got them. Here's a timeline of what the sheriff knew and when. On July 20th, 2012, top-ranking Wayne County Sheriff's officials start receiving the false email about Chief Smith, who's also a lawyer. On July 23rd, Sheriff Napoleon engages in a heated text exchange with a man Napoleon thinks is the person who actually sent the email. Napoleon writes, quote, "That malicious email you sent has been verified to be false by the Justice Department. I have the letter from the Justice Department clearing Attorney Smith. Facts never support falsehoods." The 7 Action News investigators have obtained these phone records that show Napoleon also called that man within an hour of that text. The call lasted 14 minutes. Yet, 3 days later, Napoleon does not stop the search of Renee Newell's home, even though he could have put the brakes on the raid. If you knew someone else sent that email, why did you raid Renee Newell's home?
Well, I didn't raid Renee Newell's home. The sheriff's office did.
Wait a minute. Isn't Napoleon the sheriff? Let's hear that again.
I didn't raid Renee Newell's home. The sheriff's office did. There's an investigation that is still pending. There were text messages and emails that implicated more than one person. There were several people involved in this.
But that doesn't add up either, especially since sheriff's officials admit Newell's house was the only one searched.
Did you abuse your power here?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, not at all.
And you're saying everything in that search warrant was truthful?
I did not review, I don't review search warrants. That's not my job. We believe that we've done everything within accordance to the law, and we stand by it.
Renee Newell has not been charged with any crimes, and according to court records, a police investigator has said under oath that she is not the target of any criminal investigations.
The government can't come into your home. This is what started the revolution.
Wayne State University law professor Peter Henning says if the search warrant for Newell's home was based on false or incomplete information, then the raid may have been illegal.
If there's evidence of a lie, it shows that the investigation was not just misguided or mistaken, it violated the Constitution, and indeed could even be considered a crime.
Sheriff's officials maintain they did have probable cause to get the warrant to search Newell's home, and very late today, Napoleon's second in command told me the sheriff may have thought he was texting Newell. But Napoleon never once suggested that in his own interview with me 3 weeks ago. The county also insists Newell is suing because she is a disgruntled ex-employee. As for her whistleblower lawsuit, it's ongoing, but a judge recently ordered that the county return all of the computers that were seized from Newell.
Now, Heather, you've been working this story for more than a year. She has never been charged with anything. So what is it they're specifically saying she did wrong?
Well, one of the allegations was criminal slander because of that email that was sent. But officials in the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office told me they could check their records going back 13 years, and they've never prosecuted anyone for that.
All right, Heather Gattalo, thank you for the report. I have a feeling we're going to hear more about this.